I did not even remember what happened in this episode. I memory hold it so deep that it was like watching it for the first time, and it was miserable the second time around too, so. Hey, this is the Sword and the Pen Reflections. It is my casual alternative to that channel. If you're here, you know the deal. We are looking at The Wheel of Time, Season 3, Episode 6. I have no idea what happens in this episode. I have completely memory hold this episode. Like, I don't care. Who cares? No one cares. Anyway, before we get into it though, please like, subscribe, and comment, even if it's just with an emoji. It's free for you. For me, I might make some money on this video. Also, there's a thing called hyping. All you have to do is, if you're on the app, that's the only place it seems to work, go down to the comment bubble, swipe it to the side, and you'll see the hype option. It's important now. Other than that, if you have the generosity, if you have the means and you're feeling generous, check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, or hit the money heart thanks button down below. You can leave me a one-time tip or you can become a subscriber. I appreciate anything. That's it. Let's just get this over with. We start out with Liandrin's flashback. She is in her dungeon as a child bride who's just given birth to a baby, and she names him Moad'Dragon. You can tell she's going like, oh, please stop crying, he won't like that, but then she obviously loves this baby. Then her pedophile husband comes in and he's like, you know, give me the baby, drown it. And she refuses. And then the guy's assistant comes over like he's going to take it from her by force. And she screams and uses the one power, obviously this is for the first time, and brains the guy. And then she does it again to the pedophile husband. Then she stands up, walks over to the dead pedophile husband, and proceeds to stomp on his head, crushing it like an eggshell under her bare feet. I mean, maybe when she brained him, it microwaved the bone so that it became really brittle. I don't know. Obvious what the purpose of this scene is. It's to create some sympathy for Liandrin. Like we can see, oh, this is why she hates men. She's walking through Tanchi-guuuuh marketplace at night alone with her baby going, please someone help me. And people are like, you get what you deserve, you hussy. And she obviously is not getting any help from anybody. Then she goes over to this statue of, we will later find out, it's the collared man. And it's in ruins and the other, anyway. She sits down at his feet or his knees, I don't know, whatever you call it, and is just holding her baby. And then she falls asleep and then she wakes up in the dream world and...
Liandrin, that's your name, right? Would you like some help?
So this is how she came into the service of the Forsaken. And we're supposed to be like, oh, it makes sense. That's why she did this. Like she was captured psychologically when she was vulnerable and little and hating men, and this person gave her protection and shelter, and so that's why she would serve them.
Nail them while they're vulnerable. That's my motto.
No comments, except it's super hard to see. It's very dark. Like I'm having difficulty seeing what's happening on the screen. I don't recall any of this happening in the book. Like, I mean, it obviously didn't happen in the book. We would have gotten it as information in Liandrin's backstory. She's basically a nothing character in the book. Like, she's hardly there. So I've not heard this story. Maybe somebody who knows the lore better than me can tell me, is this how this happened? I don't know. Quick note, we're gonna go character by character or group by group. I think group by group is better because we're in different locations. We'll go like location by location, and we're gonna start out in Tanchi-guuuuh. First one we're gonna look at is, I guess, Liandrin's group, but whatever, it's all Tanchi-guuuuh stuff. Then we jump to the present, and Liandrin is still in her dream, except now she's sitting on the Amerlin seat's throne. And Lanfear shows up, and she's like, it's been tough getting a hold of you, or whatever. And they start talking, and basically we've got that Lanfear wants to know if Liandrin is working with one of the other Forsaken, Ravine. And she's like, oh, no, we were all with Ishamael first. And then she was kind of with Lanfear, and now, like, whatever. Anyway, this is one complaint I would make about, like, let's assume there's no source material. There's no book. They're just making this show up. They definitely should have shown Liandrin in the service of Ishamael to start, and then, like, the handoff. But we sort of had Liandrin kind of doing her own thing, and then Lanfear shows up and starts giving Liandrin orders, and it's like, when did we see Liandrin obedient to Ishamael?
The answer is never. Do you hear me? Never, ever!
I don't know. Maybe I forgot. I mean, this whole show is like in a black hole in my memory at this point. I really don't remember any of it anymore. But the reason you would want to see something like that, why you would want to see the handoff, like first see her doing Ishamael's bidding and then but then we see that, oh, now she's serving Lanfear. You'd want to see that. So that way you don't have to reveal this stuff in dialogue. Like, did we ever see Liandrin serving Ishamael? Did we see him communicating to her, I want you to do this thing and go and do this thing and do this? No, we didn't. Instead, we just saw her with Lanfear, and now she's going, oh, I was serving Ishamael first, but now I'm serving you. It's like, you were serving him? It's good to show this stuff. So basically, Lanfear is convinced that one of the Black Aja that was, in the White Tower that escaped, one of them must be working for Ravine or one of the others, because it's just too tempting to have, all these Black Aja and not one of them is loyal to somebody else. So she's like, I want you to figure out who it is. At least one of you is. And Liandrin's like, what do you want me to do when I find her? What do you think? She wants her to kill her. So that's all we got there. And the only clue that she gets is that it'll be somebody who thinks she's cleverer than everybody else. And she's like, I thought that would be you, Liandrin, but obviously not. Whatever. Anyway, next we got Moad'Dragon bringing a tray of food to Liandrin and her gang, and she spits in the food. It's so gross. I remember. Yes, I do remember those stuff. This is so nasty. There was no call for this except like, oh, let's have her just be just this horrible, disgusting, like petty, gross person.
So, I'm going to show you something now. The Chosen would prefer you didn't see. This is the Shackled Man, a statue older than Tanchi-guuuuh itself, but only part of it still stands at the docks. It's a man who can channel, collared by 2 Aes Sedai. The sisters who found this bracelet confirmed the second one and the collar are in the city, but they never knew where. We have 1 part of 3.
Boring. We already knew that.
So, dig harder, search further.
That was no help at all.
I need the collar and the second bracelet tomorrow, or our master will be displeased.
This is stuff we already knew. They were already on this mission before, so we're just hearing the same thing over and over again. But what I think is really funny, and I didn't even notice this until, I didn't notice it the first time I watched this, but Moad'Dragon is posing as a servant, and she's just walking around with this food while they're talking about this stuff. And nobody's like, hey, servant, get out of here. Like, they didn't even bother to show that, oh, well, Moad'Dragon is using the one power on all of them to, make it so that they don't notice her or they're totally okay with her being there.
You didn't see anything.
I would think this is like top secret stuff, especially since Liandrin opens this conversation up with, this is something that the Chosen would prefer you not know. And the meeting is concluded with her saying, look harder, dig further. That's all you got. That's it. There was literally no new information here. This is like a repetition of a scene we've already had. I don't get this, but okay. Nynaeve and Elaine are in their hotel room, I guess, trying on veils and whatnot, and Nynaeve is going over the descriptions of the various Black Aja and what they're looking for. And the one that they're describing, Janine or whatever, they say that she has a white stripe in her hair, and I didn't think that she had that white stripe back when she was at the White Tower. Maybe I'm forgetting. So how would they know that she's got a white stripe in her hair now? The writers know. That's how they know. They got Nynaeve being the dumb one. She's like, why does it matter if we remember all this stuff about them? We just need to find Liandrin. Like, we know what she looks like. Why they always make Nynaeve dumb? Why? This poor actress. She must be like so frustrated. And Elaine reminds Nynaeve and the audience that we're not here to find Liandrin, we're here to find the Black Aja. So of course it would be important that they know what all of them look like. And more importantly, to find the collar. If any one of the Black Aja gets to it and gets to Rand before we do, the consequences will be like... It's suddenly starting to make sense, that conversation that we just had, who was it? Matt Damon was saying apparently that a lot of these shows will be written keeping in mind that their audience probably wasn't paying attention. They were on their phone during the previous episode. So that's why they have to repeat information constantly to remind the audience of like what the plot is about. That's so bizarre to me. Like, if your story is engaging enough, people won't be on their phones. They will put them aside because they'll be too hooked on the story. So just write better stories. Or, adapt stories that are better than what you can do faithfully. Then Matt and Min walk in, and they see that Nynaeve is wearing this veil with a bunch of beads, and they start cracking up at her, Matt too. And they're like, you know, I admire the confidence, but, you know, may want to cut back a bit on the beads or whatever. And Min explains that the number of beads on your veil indicates your price, like how much to bang ya. The thing is that Matt is new to this town. He wouldn't know this. So for him to come in and laugh at that, it's like he's getting a joke that's like an inside joke to people who are local here. And he only gets it because maybe Min must have just told him about it outside. So like he would come in and laugh at this, but I don't think you would be so used to it that you would pick up on it. Oh, you're wearing too many beads. Haha, that means you must be very expensive. I don't know. It just, to me, it was like when you laugh at a joke with the rest of the group because you want everyone to feel like, oh, I'm in on it also.
Whatever the Black Arts are doing, they won't be doing it lawfully. They'll need thieves, smugglers, criminals.
So, we'll go to the night market. Matt, you find a card game, start talking to people and see what you can find out. And Min, you use your visions.
Nynaeve and I will handle anything that requires a bit more subtlety.
Okay. Like Nynaeve has ever proven that she can do anything with subtlety? Whatever.
Is she always like this?
Oh, yeah, both of them.
Oh no, my soccer fell over. Then we cut to them walking through the market during the daytime, so not the night market, and Matt is wearing the veil with all the beads. What? I think that they must have wanted to make this joke about the beads determine your price, but they didn't have a second veil. I don't know why they did this. Was this intentional? Later that night, they're at some sort of, I don't know, bar, and Elaine and Matt are not with Min and Nynaeve, so I guess their plan that we had earlier is just out the window.
What's a man to do to get a peek behind that veil?
Did you wash your hands?
The best secret to reveal is the face behind a lady's veil.
The most deadly is that an illuminator's spark.
I bet the river and the her that you don't know a thing about getting a woman to take off her veil.
Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
You speak like a true Terrabona.
Why wouldn't I? Hailing from the Calpenna as I do.
Well, I'm just not sure.
Okay, that was easy.
Well, I'm just not sure that this is the right piece for me. But have you got any jewelry? Like a little collar to match that bracelet I told you about. Something about here.
For you or a lady friend?
Oh, like, this would be for a man. Big, strong man such as myself. A little silver number. I'll tell you what, I will give you a taste of this if you can find me something like that.
I would have liked to have seen Matt being approached with the beads. Like, why did they bother with doing that whole joke and then having him wear it and then there's no payoff for that? Whatever. Anyway, so he's describing the collar that he's looking for, saying, and it matches that bracelet I told you about. So we're being told about some conversation that they had. But then he can hear Tom Maryland's voice, the familiar singing voice in the distance. And so he's like, I gotta get out of here. You know, he's like gonna go investigate. He finds Tom in the street singing with a big crowd all around him. And Tom's like, I'm getting out of here. And Matt's like, wait, don't you remember? It's me, Matt Cawthon. Of course he doesn't remember you. You're a different actor entirely. But yeah, he's like, dude, you guys left me for dead. Like, that's not cool. It's just, Okay, so this does happen where they reunite with Tom, but Tom's like doing his own thing, and it doesn't matter. Why am I even bothering to try to compare the show to the book? Like, it doesn't. Tom does reconnect with everybody. It's nothing like this, but there you go. Tom is like, I want nothing to do with you or your redheaded friend. Like, you guys are no good. Like, you are trouble. And he's walking off, and Matt's like, wait, what was it that you told me? And he's holding up what is obviously Tom's purse. And he's like, you taught me that the best life lessons often cost the most. And Tom is like, aw, you got me. I mean, this is a callback to what we had in season 1 of Tom Maryland and these guys. So somebody who wrote this obviously watched that episode at least. I mean, there you go. But Tom reluctantly goes off with Matt. He's like, I'll buy you a drink. And he's like, and if you're lucky, I might even tell you who blew the horn of the lyre. Oh gosh. We got some interesting conversation now with Nynaeve and Min. Min is like, so about Matt's memories, those are, and Nynaeve's like, that's his business and mine. We've never really seen Matt talking about his memories except like one time in episode 1. Like, we should have seen him in discussions about them with, at least with Min and with Nynaeve, so that way the two of them know that each other are aware of what, like, oh, he's having memories that aren't his own. But whatever, no.
You're scowling.
I'm not.
You are. It's suspicious.
Oh, that's just my face.
Everybody here is scowling. They're all crooks. Scowling would probably blend in better than smiling and looking cheerful, right? I thought Min was supposed to know this town.
There you go. There you are. You're not drinking?
They're both for you. You need to loosen up. Let your braid down.
Thank you.
This person did not read any of the other scripts before because Nynaeve is the least trustworthy, like, trusting person ever. And Min is new to the gang. Like, she wouldn't just, like, yeah, sure, I'll get drunk while you stay sober. That's a great idea. But then Nynaeve starts asking her, like, so how do these visions of yours work? Like, and Min just tells her, like, sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't. Times when I really need to see them, I don't seem to be able to see them. And Nynaeve is like, and doesn't that bother you? And she's like, well, I don't have a choice, so. So right in the middle of her explaining all this to Nynaeve, she suddenly starts getting a vision and grabs a guy who's passing by. She's like, yeah, you just met a beautiful woman, dark hair with a white stripe going through it. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, you're gonna marry her. And he's like, what? I don't even know her. I just see her in the city center. I think she's doing some work on the old Linault place. She's like, oh, she's rich, great. Anyway, so she ends up, like, brushing him off, like, hey, that one was on me. Because she's like, I can see the pattern and I can see the future, whatever. She's like, but tell your friends that if they ever want to know what's coming, come to me. And then he walks off and Nynaeve is like, Janie or whatever, like, marries that guy. And Min's like, no, she murders him. Now, Min in the book was constantly trying to stop this sort of thing from happening. Like, when she went to the tower, it was a very memorable moment when she goes to the White Tower and she has visions of everybody dying there. And the first thing she's thinking is, oh my gosh, I got to tell them what's coming so that this can be prevented if possible. But here it's like, okay, just like, whatever. She doesn't try to warn him to stay away from her or anything, whatever. But anyway, now they know where Leandrin is, or at least where Janie or Jeannie, that one is. Please like, subscribe, and comment, even if it's just with an emoji. It's a free way to support this channel. Or if you're feeling generous, check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, or hit the Money Heart Thanks button down below. You can become a subscriber or leave me a one-time tip. Anything is much appreciated. Now let's get back to it.
Yes? I saw the child bride today. Whatever you did to her mind, it was thorough. She seems content.
In my experience, the happiest people are those that know the least.
Do you think you would be able to weave something more precise?
Something you'd rather not remember, sister. In the age of legends, perhaps. Now, only the Forsaken themselves could do it.
I don't know how this is supposed to be a clue for Leandrin. Like, how are we seeing Leandrin gathering clues to figure out who among the Black Aja that she's working with right now is working for not Lanfear? Because that's what this is supposed to be. She's supposed to be trying to figure out which one of you guys is actually working for one of the other Forsaken. And I just don't see how this helps her. If the clue was it'll be somebody who thinks she's more clever than she actually is, how did this conversation bring that out of Naomi? I don't get it. Then we get this disgusting little montage of Moad'Dragon. It's disgusting. This is so freaking nasty, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, what the hell is the point of this except to have, like, a shock value, like, moment. Like, oh, this is a really edgy show. Now we're back with Matt and Tom is like, oh my gosh, that redheaded friend of yours is the Dragon Reborn, and you're the guy who blew the horn of Valir. Then Matt starts speaking in Old Tongue, and he's like, and you speak Old Tongue? And he's like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, anyway, Tom is like, nope, I still want nothing to do with you guys. I want out of here. And Matt is like, no, we could really use your help. We're looking for somebody named Leandrin. And Tom is like, Leandrin, whatever. Like, yeah, you're an idiot. Like, don't go near that woman. At least they're keeping up with Tom's character. Like, he really did not want to get back involved with these guys because, well, there was a lot more to it. But yes, the sentiment was the same. I can at least say that. He did not want to get back involved with them. Then Tom spots Elaine across the room and goes, "What's the bloody daughter heir of Andor doing here?"
Please, with this disguise, I'm invisible.
Matt's like, "You know her?" And he's like, yeah, I served in her mother's court ages ago. And this is just in time to see that Elaine's in trouble because she gets a knife pulled on her by the guy she was flirting with. And he's like, "Yeah, I can tell that you're the you're the daughter heir of Andor." Like, how would they know what she looks like? I mean, even if they just had like drawings of what she looks like, that would be the best they've got. Because remember, she hasn't been to Tanchi-guuuuh before. So what, this guy has been to Andor and seen her? Even if he had, like, he would oh, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. But yeah, so she's like, "You gotta be out of your mind if you think I'm the bloody heir of Andor or whatever." And then that's when Tom comes over and he's like, "Oh, you know, I should have known better than to hire or to get a drunkard as a apprentice." Like, he's pretending she is his apprentice and she's a drunk.
Has she been doing her daughter heir Vandor bit again? Last time 2 men tried to ransom her. She took the money for herself, came back with enough coin to buy a boat, and then drank it all away, as she does.
It's just so funny to me that he's trying to paint this girl as a drunk. Like, of all the things that he would have off the top of his head, you know, come up with, why that? Like, that seems like you would assume that for, like, I don't know, an old sea hag or... Oh, okay. She's like a teenage girl and he's like, "Yeah, she's a total drinker." So the guy that was holding her at knife point is like, "Oh, so you're a Gleeman's apprentice? Fine, let's have us a song." And Elaine's like, "All right, fine, we'll do the one that everyone in our fine city knows, the Hills of Tanchi-guuuuh." And Tom is like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, what's the big deal?" Whatever. Anyway, so she goes and she stands up on top of a table or a bar, doesn't really matter, and she's gonna start singing.
I'll tell you a tale of a lad of 20, a terror-born boy with coin aplenty, looking for love and more's a pity. Now he's lost in the hills of Tanchi-guuuuh city. It's not enough and three is too many, and two bring a man to his steez. Hey! Hills of Tanchi-guuuuh. The hills of Tanchi-guuuh. These hills will flatten the whole screw. These hills will make a man out of you. The hills of Tanchi-guuuh. The hills of Tanchi-guuuh. How's that for the daughter heir of Andor?
The thing is, how did she learn this song? Okay, there's a couple things. How did she learn this song? First of all, remember, she's never been to Tanchi-guuuuh, so how did she learn this song is the first question. And the second question is, if she learned this song, how did she not learn what it's actually about? She would have had to have heard it sung to like know the melody and know how to sing it and stuff, right? And what, she just didn't pick up on this? Like, who would sing it to her? It's a rude song about boobs. So how did she not get that? Why am I even thinking? The thing is, the lyrics in this song are not subtle at all. Like, if you can't pick up that they're talking about boobs, you're dumb. And she's in the middle of singing this, and she looks over and notices a woman, like, fondling her own breasts, listening to this song, and she's like, ugh. And she looks over at Tom, and Tom's like, oh, I tried to warn you. Like, isn't this hilarious? Okay, another point I want to make about this song is this is not like a raucous bar song. This does not come across that way at all. And yet it seems like it's the one that everybody loves. Everyone wants to hear it over and over again. It's so much fun in this kind of town, in this kind of setting. It's just not the kind of song that, you know, you're clapping and stomping your foot to and, you know, keeps people riled up. It's like a ballad. It's like, it's this slow, melodious sort of song. Why am I thinking? Oh my gosh. And then Elaine starts like trying to jiggle hers, but she doesn't have enough to make anything jiggle. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. And the fact that we spend so much time on this song is even worse. And I did hear that the reason they put this in here, I completely forgot about this whole scene. The reason they put this here is because I guess the whole cast went out to do karaoke at one point and they saw that, oh, this actress who plays Elaine, she did karaoke and she could sing. And they're like, we should do a song with her, have her singing a song. That's not why you put a scene like this in a show. And she can't sing that well. Like, she can sing better than me, probably better than most people. But this is not somebody who's like, oh my gosh, she's such a good singer. We definitely should have an entire scene in this really expensive show where she's just singing this song. And I think I remember noting, like, so I'm watching this on my phone right now, but when I watch this on my TV, whoever the actor is who plays Matt, this guy, you can hear him singing. He can sing. You can hear that he's got real control over his voice. He should have been the one up there singing. I'm sure they could have integrated the whole veil with all the beads thing into a joke about that, or like, you know, how is he going to convince Tom to like stay? Whatever. Anyway, we're just going to have a song where everybody's, you know, stroking their boobs and singing this song like it's the greatest thing they've ever heard. I keep thinking of that song from the Unsinkable Molly Brown where she's talking about like, you know, belly up to the bar, boys, and like she's got the whole bar riled up and they're all having a great time. And that's the kind of song that would keep these people interested. It can still be provocative. Oh, whatever. Yeah, and at the very end of it, Elaine goes, ha, how's that for the daughter heir of Andor? Yeah, just flaunt that everywhere. These people, like these kids are coming across as so stupid. It's really hard to root for anybody who's acting obviously stupid. And it's just like, this is as dumb as you get. And I'm sorry, after that performance, nobody would believe that she is an apprentice to a Gleeman. I mean, to be honest, it's hard to imagine even this Tom as a Gleeman, but like, I mean, whatever. I had this complaint about another show where we had a character, it was a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, where we go into this tent where there's like a puppet show happening, and the actress who's narrating the puppet show did not give off the thespian vibe at all. There was nothing over-exaggerated or theatrical about the way, the intonations in her voice or her mannerisms, like her gestures. Nothing said this is a person who grew up on the stage or who's really comfortable on the stage, who would be in this position entertaining a bunch of people. And that's the vibe I'm getting here. So, yeah. This would be, to me, if I was the guy with the weird bead thing who was like, yeah, if you're a Gleeman's apprentice, then give us a song. I'd be like, yeah, this is proof you're obviously not a Gleeman's apprentice. So anyway.
You know, I have to admit, I think I might be having a good time for the first time in that. I don't remember.
Relaxation looks good on you.
Better than this veil?
Nynaeve Almira. Was that a joke?
I think it was.
I actually thought this was a really cute moment. Like, if this was a completely different story and a different show, I'd be like, oh, this is sweet. Like, these two girls having a good time. One that was uptight and now she's loosening up and she's having an innocent good time. It's not really in Nynaeve's character at all. The show is showing that they do not understand Nynaeve. She's very conservative in the books. She's like very much latched on to her old Two Rivers values. She would not be caught dead in something off the shoulders like this. I mean, she wouldn't admit that that's what she wants to be in, but she, you know, it happens. I mean, the actress looks great like this, but anyway.
There it goes.
Sorry, it's just this city. Do you think it's what made her who she is? Liandrin.
Did you say Leandrin?
Do you know her?
Well, anyone my age would.
Have you seen her?
Well, I haven't, but the old Lunat clan was wiped out a few weeks back. And there's a rumour that Liandrin herself did it. Her ghost.
Why don't I buy you around and you tell me all about her?
I thought they're supposed to be like subtle, like anything that requires more subtlety will be handled by Nynaeve and me. This is just, oh, they're so dumb. They already know Liandrin is at the Lenault place because the previous guy that Min told her vision to said he saw Janie or whatever the hell her name was, one of the Black Aja, at the Lenault place. So they already knew that. And now they've given away that they know where Liandrin is. Now we're with Liandrin, who is sitting next to Naomi's bed. Naomi wakes up like, what are you doing? And Liandrin's like, you're shielded, so don't try anything. And she's like, doing something to Naomi, and she's like, there must be some way for me to get the information out of your head. I know you've found something. And Naomi's like, yes, I have found something. I know where the collar is. It's in the Panarch's palace. We didn't see her figure this out. Like, all the interesting stuff is happening off screen. Like, how did she figure this out? Anyway, Naomi is like, I can help you get it. I've got powerful allies. And Liandrin's like, I know you do, but I don't need any of the Chosen's help because I'm going to become one of them. And then she brains Naomi the same way that she brained in the past her pedophile husband and his buddy. How did she figure out it was Naomi? How? The show is not telling us. And maybe the people who wrote the show couldn't figure it out, so they're just like, she just figures it out. They couldn't come up with a clever way. If you're writing a story and there's supposed to be mysteries that unfold like this, the adventure is in the unfolding of the mysteries. How does Liandrin figure this stuff out? How did Naomi figure out where the collar was? Like, that is what we want to see. If you're writing a story and you can't figure out a clever way for those things to happen,
stop it. Get some help.
Find somebody, brainstorm with a friend, explain the scenario. People love to come up with cool creative ideas, and some of them are going to be garbage, but maybe somebody comes up with an idea and it goes, oh, that gives me an even better idea. You never know. Just if you're stuck, get help. Oh, and Liandrin turns around and kind of jumps because there's another Black Aja gal there. And she's like, oh, Ispan, you're back. Great. So tell me, what did you find? Like, pay no attention to your sister who I just killed. That's all good. I mean, this is kind of very Black Aja-y, or at least, it's more Forsaken-y, but whatever. Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Nynaeve and Min, totally drunk, wander back to the bar that Matt and Elaine and whatever they're hanging out, and they're still singing this song. Like, how many times have they been singing this song over and over again? I don't know, must have been a lot.
What the hell is this?
But they come back in and like, oh, wow, I thought you were trying to be subtle. And Elaine's like, I assure you I was blending in. And then Matt introduces Tom Marilyn. He's like, hey, this is my friend Tom Marilyn. And they're like, friend? And he's like, well, you did save Elaine from the pointy end of a blade. And Nynaeve is like, what? And Elaine is like, I was blending in, I assure you. They were not blending in, but whatever. So then Nynaeve and Min explain that, oh, we know where Liandrin's staying. Apparently she painted the old Lenault place red a few weeks back. And so they're like, let's go. And as they're walking out, Matt gets stopped by the guy he was talking to a few minutes ago, who he was saying, I'm looking for a collar and a bracelet. And the guy's like, hey, I don't have that collar you're looking for, but I do have that bracelet you were telling me about. And he showed him the bracelet. Like, okay, so this is, you can chalk this up to Matt being Ta'veren, and so basically lucky things happen to him. But the show has not established that this is a thing with Matt, that Matt is very, very lucky in a magical kind of way, so that when this sort of thing happens, you go, oh, awesome, like it's kicking in again. Instead, you're just going like, wait a minute, what are the odds of that? Was the show ever going to explain it? Like at this point in the books, Matt, I mean, this never happened like this, but at this point where we're at in the show, by now, Matt understands that this is like a power that he has, and he uses it like a tool. Like, oh, I'll just randomly walk into a bar and the person I need to talk to will be right there. Like, so he'll just be like, and go, and there they are. Like, that's how he operates. Oh. This just comes across as convenient writing. Anyway, the guy says that his dad had it stashed in his shop. Like, well, he keeps all kinds of stuff there in case it might be worth something. So he ran to his shop and came back with it, all in the time that they sang through this song. How many times did they sing through this song? Hopefully, maybe his shop was right next door. I guess I could, whatever. Anyway, so Matt buys it from him and hands it off to Nynaeve. And Nynaeve's like, oh my gosh, there's 2 bracelets. So are there 2 collars too? And then Tom Marilyn has to explain about the shackled man, that it's 2 bracelets and 1 collar. It is actually kind of shocking that they don't know about this stuff. And that's what Tom comments on. He's like, for people who have researched so much of, the lore here or whatever, you don't know about the shackled man and, whatever. Whatever.
Who are you waiting for? Someone. He'll do something soon, I know it. So impatient. Or is it Pravin? Didn't he tell you it was dangerous here in the world of dreams? Wait. Who are you? I'm nothing. Just the spite that you wipe off your skirt and never think about again. So, go on. Tell me what you came to tell Robin and I'll report straight away.
It's Leandrin! She found out about Naomi. She killed her. She wants to become a Forsaken. And 2 of the 5 the Dark Lord's hunting are in Tanchi-guuuuh.
Okay. I guess we have to knock off a bunch of these Black Aja because they can't be around for much longer. Even though this was like a mission of Nynaeve and Elaine, like oh, it doesn't matter. Next, we cut to Elaine and Nynaeve coming back to their hotel room and talking about how their plan is to stake out the Lenault estate, whatever. And Moad'Dragon shows up and they're like, oh, we don't need anything. And she's like, well, I need something from you. And we see her use the one power and she's charmed them, I guess. This did sort of happen, like kind of like this in the book. And I actually thought that they did a good job of representing what it's like, that basically the girls become very receptive to her. Like they want to impress her. They're like they're marveling at her. And it was basically the same sort of sentiment when this sort of thing happened in the books. It wasn't exactly this though.
No more than girls. And very trained. Strong though, both of you. You especially. You've blocked yourself. Why?
I'm afraid of it. My power. All that power. I hate it, I think.
In my time, we would have beaten that out of you. No matter.
It serves me for the time being.
Come, sit.
They all sit down together and it's like 3 girls like having a girls' night. Like it definitely has like that vibe, but more creepy. And Moad'Dragon is like, hey, so what are you doing here? And, they talk about how they're there looking for the Black Aja and they start naming them. And she's like, do you know what they're looking for? And they tell her about the collar, the Shan-Chan collar, which she also knew about, whatever. Anyway, and she's like, to collar the Dragon Reborn. Did you know where he is? And they're like, no, we don't. But we would tell you if we did know, I like the way this is being played out. This is actually a decent scene. It's definitely tense and it's accurately representing how I would have envisioned this. Like I remember in the book reading this scene because you're in the head of one of the girls and you don't really realize what has happened until you get far enough and you're like, this isn't right. Why are they so friendly with this lady? Like, what's going on? And then it suddenly starts to register something magical is happening and it's not good. And this is not a good situation. So it's almost like you're trapped in the mind of the person who is being mind controlled. And then suddenly you realize that they're being not mind controlled. Anyway, I didn't mind this. I just wish that the show was better because then it would have been a cool scene.
Have you found out anything else about this bracelet or collar?
We found the second bracelet today.
Did you? Clever girl. Go and fetch it for me. You're fighting me. You should be proud. You did what the Black Aja could not. Now, Ravin wants you dead. My grey men have tried twice and missed, but I like it when he doesn't get what he wants. And you've both proven yourselves to be very useful to me tonight. Maybe I'll come back. See you again.
That would make us very happy.
Yeah. And you let me do whatever I want to. Obey my every command.
This is indulging a little bit too much, but I mean, I guess if this is, you don't have the length of time that we had in the book to play out this scene and put the detail in things like what are these girls experiencing while they're talking to Moad'Dragon in this state. So, just throwing a little bit more in there, like she literally could do anything she wants to them and they would be convinced that they like it, kind of a thing. And Moad'Dragon cutting specifically Nynaeve's face and complimenting her on her resisting her power or what she's doing to her is, I think they must have been trying to set up that there is going to be a thing between Nynaeve and Moad'Dragon in the future, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm on book 6 at this point. So basically, Nynaeve collars Mogideon, and Mogideon becomes afraid of, well, because she's collared now, she becomes afraid of Nynaeve and everybody. But Nynaeve is in total control of Mogideon at some point. And so starting out their relationship like this means that when that happens, we're going to turn the tables on them. And that it kind of went down in a more subtle way in the books like that. But anyway, you get the idea. Like they're at least sort of doing that. But it's so hard to compliment this show on anything. But there you go. You get a compliment there. You did kind of what the books did here. Mogideon tells the girls that you're not going to remember anything about what happened here, just that some woman came knocking at your door, but it was the wrong door, and then she left. And they're like, okay. And then she leaves, and then we see that the girls snap out of it. They both have headaches, and they're like, what the hell just happened? What were we talking about?
Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude? Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude? Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude?
Wasn't there a woman that came to the door or something? Like, yeah, but it was the wrong door. She left. Like, oh, okay. I'm like, man, we must have had too much to drink. I like this. And then Nynaeve is like, yeah, we should probably put the collar someplace safe. And that's when they realize, or not the collar, the bracelet. They realize the bracelet is gone and they're freaking out. And then Elaine notices that Nynaeve is bleeding on her face. They're really disturbed by what happened. Like, this is good. This is actually, like, it's a good way to show all of this. So I thought that was fine. But that's basically all we get from this. They found the bracelet, they handed it over to Mogideon, and now they're back to where they were at the beginning of this whole thing. Like, all they know is where Leandrin is. Oh, whatever. It's so hard to compliment anything good that happens in this show. But there you go. I had the one thing. They represented this mind control power nicely. That's it. Anyway, I'm done with these people. I'm so glad to get out of Tanchi-guuuh. This place is just gross. It's just gross looking. We're going to go to the Two Rivers now. So we start out with Perrin being brought back after their little raid on the White Cloaks camp to, free the Cawthon sisters. Those are the only ones that they rescued. And Fail's like, oh no, he's stabbed. Quick, somebody get Alana so she can heal him. And they're like, she's not in all that great a shape either. And then we go upstairs where we can see Alana laying there and Maxim sitting next to her. Like, he got shot with arrows too, multiple. I mean, I definitely saw one that was like in his back, but like, she's just squirming in bed in pain, and that's all we get of that. Then we go back down to Matt again, and he's like, oh, the girls are here. What about Natty? And I don't know, he's disappointed that they didn't save her. I'm not even sure why he said this, but whatever. Anyway, Fail is like, my father always said that you can mourn for the living, or what does she say?
My father, he always said a leader can either take care of the living or weep for the dead, not both.
This is just very awkward dialogue. Like, he just randomly brings up the girls are here? Like, didn't you, just rescue them? And what about Natty? Well, you saw she's dead. And then she's like, my father always said, oh, it's so awkward. Are these people in the same room talking to each other? We get an overhead shot of the Two Rivers, and we can hear that familiar Padan Fain whistling thing, which I thought was actually a decent, thing that the show decided to do, that they were going to give Padan Fain this whistle that he always does. I appreciate that sort of little bit of detail, when they add something like this, let's give him something that's very distinct. This is hymns. And, it's funny because you hear the whistling. I seem to recall in season 1, there were times when you heard the whistling but didn't see him. And then only upon watching the season a second time would you catch it. So that sort of thing, if only the whole season was well written, you could be like, oh, isn't it cool? They also did this little detail thing. But it doesn't work to be like, oh, look at that cool detail when everything else is trash. Anyway, he's on the hill with some Trollocs overlooking, I liked the Trollocs. The makeup job for the Trollocs was great. So, yay. So then we get to Perrin, who's laying in, the lobby of the hotel in Two Rivers. And then we got Fail comes in. She's like, oh, you're healing up really nice. That's great. And anyway, this leads into a conversation where she tells her backstory. My family are military family. Both my parents are generals, and all my brother and I were whatever. We were all military soldiers, whatever. And she's like, I'll never forget when my mom sat me down and told me she was a dark friend, and she wanted me to swear the oaths too, or she was going to kill me. And she's like, but I didn't want to do it. So she told her brother about their mother, and then she ran off to join the hunt. And while she was gone, her brother stood up to them and tried to, resist taking the oaths or something. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, the mother killed the brother. And so Fail's like, I ran off and my brother paid the price. I mean, even though I actually kind of like this backstory, it's not Fail's backstory from the book, at least as much as it is as I know. All this stuff with her mother and stuff, this is just, it's not a good idea to do this because like in the books, we see Fail's family show up later and Perrin has to talk to them. I've just gotten to that part, sort of. So it's just not... that all changes now because it couldn't happen if Fail knows like, oh, my mother is a dark friend and she killed my brother. I don't know why they keep doing this to these people, but whatever. So Fail goes, you couldn't possibly understand what how I feel. And then Perrin's like, oh, really? So Perrin explains that when the Trollocs came and attacked, we were fighting them and I killed her. I killed my wife. Oh, but Fail has the best comeback to this. And it's like, oh my gosh, this could not be any worse.
I killed her.
She chose to fight. Did she fight well?
She did.
Don't take away her honor. Still mourning her so long. Take care of the living. Right?
You killed your wife? She was a fighter, huh? You know what? You shouldn't mourn for her. You should get over her right now. It's so weird. It's like, hurry up and get over her so we can bang. That's what this is all about. This whole conversation is happening so that we can hurry up and move Perrin from mourning his wife to banging Fail. That's what this is. These people don't even know each other. How many conversations have the two of them had privately ever? Like, they've had two that I can think of before this. They had the one where he was in the same room, sitting at the table, and she came and sat next to him and explained, whatever. And then there was another one where I think he was in the smith doing something and she came and talked to him and like, I never heard of, somebody failing to hand themselves over or whatever. And that's it. There was not enough, why am I trying to think? Why am I trying to think? Like, you can't expect anybody to be invested in seeing the two of them get together. They have not been through enough together for us to want a relationship between them. Romance is, I've said it before, one of the easiest things in the world to write. There is literally formulas. You can follow various formulas for how to create a certain type of a romance. Just follow the formula. They've followed no formula. And it shows. I don't care about these two characters. I don't care about them being together. Even though I actually like this Fail character thing that they've put in here. I mean, she's not Fail from the books. I kind of like her though in the show. Not that I'm saying I don't like Fail in the books. She's fine in the books. But like, I actually kind of like her. And Perrin's okay, I guess. I don't care about the two of them getting together at all. What a waste. It's like, I'm so bored. I'm so bored that I like don't want to be doing this review. But, I promised people I would, so here we are. It's just so funny that Fail's like, take care of the living, right? Take care of this living, right? Fail's like, I used to think that it meant something that I didn't swear the oaths. And then Perrin gives the cheesiest line. It's like such a line.
There's so much darkness in this world, Fail. But when I look at you, all I see is light.
They're definitely banging. Then we got Mopey Dane in the White Cloak camp. He's drinking and he heads over to where there's some ruckus going on, and Child Valda is standing there in shock as Padden Fane and his gang show up in White Cloak clothing, all bloodied up and looking terrible, and Child Valda's like, what the hell happened to you? And they're like, oh, we ran into some trouble with some Trollocs along the way. And he's like, anyway, I hear you're having some trouble with the kindly folk of the Two Rivers. Maybe I can help you with that. I would think that there would be some sort of a verification. Like, how would you make sure that these are definitely white cloaks? There be something, like here's our certificate or our papers or our token or something. I mean, that's just me though. It probably wouldn't take very long in discussion with this gang that just walked in to figure out, wait, you aren't really white cloaks. even if they show up all bloody and the White Cloaks are like, you look terrible and like we always value cleanliness, it still would not take long in conversation with any one of these guys to realize they aren't White Cloaks. I'm sure they have vows or certain, I don't know, other White Cloaks that they all are familiar with. Something. There would be enough information that every White Cloak would have to know that these guys clearly don't know, that they would figure it out, but whatever. Anyway, we're back up in the attic with Alana and Maxim, and she's like, oh, Maxim, it's time. Like, she's gonna sever the bond because she thinks she's gonna die. And he's like, no. And anyway, the two girls that were just rescued come up the stairs and are like, we heard that Alana Sedai was injured while coming to rescue us, so we wanted to come and thank her. And Maxim's like, yeah, girls, come on over. Like, Alana, look, you love being thanked. With how he was treating Alana before this, and how she was treating him, like, this just feels like, it feels unearned. Like, I don't care. I just, like, the drama between them is so manufactured. It's bizarre. It's, like, hard to watch this and feel anything. It feels like the previous episode, you guys hated each other, basically. You didn't want to be around each other. But, oh, she gets all shot up and you're like, oh, no, I love you and we're back together and, like, I'm here to support you. And she suddenly cares about somebody, you know, being emotionally destroyed if she dies while they're bonded to her. Oh, okay. The girls are like, oh, you're still injured? I thought that the Aes Sedai could, you know, heal. And they're like, yeah, only others, not ourselves. And then they look at each other and Maxim's like, wait, can you two channel? And then Alana just goes into like coach mode and she like tells them how to channel to like heal her. The girls hold each other's hand and close their eyes and they start channeling and they heal her. Like, this is totally throwing out the idea that channeling specific weaves is something you have to learn. This is like, okay, you can basically do the most complex thing ever, which is knitting together flesh and bone, and like, you can do that with precision, with no coaching, no channeling experience. Like, they only channeled once before and it was on accident and they don't even know how they did it. Oh, whatever. Anyway, and Alana's like, oh, I told you there were channelers in these mountains, and that's the end of that. Everybody's happy. The drama is over. Alana's not gonna die for now. What is the freaking point of almost killing somebody just to heal them right away, and then almost killing them again just to heal them again right away, and then almost killing them again just to heal them right away? Like, this is like, we'll never ever believe anything anymore. If she gets hurt again, we're just gonna be like, yeah, whatever, she's just gonna get healed again. That's the consequence of doing this sort of thing. There should be a permanent consequence. That's the thing, is that there should be a permanent consequence for events like this happening. But they wanted to create drama, but then they realized, well, we still have a whole bunch of other story that has to happen and we can't have too severe consequences, so just like pretend it didn't happen. They're doing this to create more drama. The thing is that by doing this, you are making it so that any future drama is less impactful because we'll never believe it. We get back to Perrin and Fael, and Perrin is telling Fael about how he's a wolf brother. And then he's like, yeah, what about you and your hunt for the horn? She's like, yeah, I'm serious about it. I'm gonna find it. And he's like, oh man, I can't let this go on. He's like, give me that scroll. And he pulls out the portrait that Matt had done of himself with the horn. Remember back in wherever they were, Tar-Valon. And he explains, that's my friend Matt, and that's him blowing the horn of Valyr. She's like, what? That's your friend? And that's him blowing the horn of Valyr? How many times did you let me go on and on about finding the horn? And then he kisses her, and then she climbs up onto him, and they're making out, and like, it's going there. And then Alana has to come in and cock block poor Perrin.
Your antics are like a knife to my jock, and nobody likes a cock block.
Alana is making herself so obnoxious. Why are they writing her this way? I mean, personally, if I was Perrin at that point, I'd be like, look, I was off trying to mourn my wife and you came over and commandeered the whole moment. And now here I am trying to make it happen with this hot babe and you come in here and just destroy it. Oh my gosh. I don't know. The writers just don't seem to know how to make characters likable or how to make comedy happen that is actually genuinely funny. Because this is just not, it's not funny, it's not cute, it's not, like wasn't invested in the relationship between Perrin and this girl. And don't like Ilana anyway. So when he's getting together with her, which we don't care about, and then she comes in and interrupts it, the thing we don't care about. Oh, whatever. The final scene that we get is Fail and the two Aiel chicks looking at the way gate that they came through, and you can see a ton of Trollocs coming out of it, and the Aiel girls are like, dude, this isn't a raiding party, this is a freaking army. And the other one goes, well, Golden Eyes is gonna have to lead his people to war whether he wants to or not, and then they take off. So, we're building some anticipation for the next episode. That's the end of the Two Rivers sequence. We're moving on to out in the desert, wasteland, whatever. We're starting out with Egwene. So she's talking to the two wise ones, and they're like, you promised you would never go into Talaran Riyadh without us. You lied. And they're like, and you can't lie. You're an Aes Sedai. And Egwene is like, well, I lied about that too. I'm not actually an Aes Sedai. So she did actually get in trouble for lying to the wise ones, but I think she managed to keep it a secret that she wasn't an Aes Sedai, so that's new. Like, she didn't have to tell them that. I guess they had to in the show, though, because they'd already had her, they pointed out, it's obvious you broke your promise, so. But so she says she needs to know how to fight Lanfear in her dreams, and they're like, you're in Talaran Riyadh, and they're like, you can't even hope to beat one of the Forsaken in, except they called it the Shadow Soul in Talaran Riyadh, but, maybe in your own dreams you can, because that's where you have the real advantage, and that's the end of that little bit there. We get to Moraine, and she has somehow figured out to go into the dream, or maybe she just fell asleep. No, it looks like she's intentionally making herself go to sleep so she can, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but she's in the dream world now, and she meets up with Lanfear, and Lanfear is like, you've been hiding from me. And this is just the weirdest dialogue.
You're afraid of me now. What did you see in Ruidian?
What do you want?
You're supposed to keep Egwene away from him.
I am. She won't budge if forced.
I worry that you're trying to stay useful to me so that I don't dispose of you.
How is Moraine staying useful to you if she's not doing the stuff that you're asking her to do? Wouldn't she be more of a nuisance? I have to, whatever. And the most obvious thing about this entire situation and what is so wrong with it is that why the hell is Moraine taking orders from Lanfear? Why is she in cahoots with it? She thinks Lanfear, in the book, Moraine thinks that every single one of the Forsaken are the devil's servants, because they are. So here, I guess Moraine is like, yeah, it's okay for me to work with the devil. I'm sure it'll all turn out fine. This goes so against who she is in the books. It's just ridiculous that this was even brainstormed, that this even came to the brainstorming table, but whatever. Look at those spectacular shoulder pads that Lanfear's wearing. It looks like they're made out of origami. With the exception of Tanchi-guuuuh, whoever was in charge of the Aes Sedai costumes, they definitely should get a great job on an awesome sci-fi or fantasy show where they can do crazy stuff like this. This is not easy stuff to make, and it looks striking, so I hope they get hired again somewhere else. On a better show.
I'm sending a little surprise. Let him handle it. I know that's difficult for you.
So we had this scene so that Lanfear could tell Moraine whatever happens in the next scene involving Rand, where there's something that's going to happen that's big and magical, just let him handle it. This didn't need to happen. I don't understand why this had to happen. Why did you need this scene? How about Moraine's just not present at the place where the thing happens? Whatever. Then we've got Avienda taking Rand to their garden where they grow all their food. And he's like, oh, so this is where you grow all your whatever. And she's like, yeah, the rocks keep the plants in the shade all day. So that it doesn't dry out the water. If you didn't know, I live in Phoenix, Arizona, one of the hottest places in the United States. And if you keep plants that are meant to get sun in the shade all day, it doesn't matter if they're getting enough water or not, they will still die. All plants need sun. But that's me being super petty. The question still remains, where do they get enough water to water these plants? But whatever, that's not the worst thing about this scene. That's me being petty.
Well, Sarah.
Randall Thor, these are my squashes. You see how fat they get?
You're taking very good care of them.
I know.
I didn't realize that you were such good farmers. Good shepherds, too, from the taste of that goat yesterday.
My sister takes care of the goats. She's the goat herd. But what do shepherds take care of? Sheps?
Something like that.
All that was for this joke, and it wasn't even like a well-executed joke. Whatever. I mean, child actor is doing okay. I mean, it's so hard to find a great child actor, apparently. We haven't had very good ones in this show yet. Actually, the little girl at the beginning of this episode wasn't too bad, but I mean, she was so messed up and it was so dark that it was hard to see what she looked like or what kind of facial expressions she was making. But anyway, then we get this little thing.
We can do some work together. What's this? Is this your shovel?
No, that's my spear. I'm training to become a maiden. You cannot touch it. You dishonor me, Randall Thor.
For dishonoring your G, you have my toe.
You will harvest my garden when they are ripe. Only then will your toe be repaid, Randall Thor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it's play, I don't know if it's supposed to count, especially since it's not really a real spear. It's her, like, practice spear. Whatever. It doesn't, I don't even care. I don't even care.
I could have used your help there.
You handled yourself well enough, Outlander. Well enough.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Oh well, anyway, that's the end of that. Rand walks off. He's not exactly pleased with Aviendha, but this is supposed to be Aviendha coming round to Rand. That's all it took. We check in with Egwene, who is practicing pushing the two wise ones out of her dream. And we never saw her fail, so it doesn't feel like she ever fails. And the only advice that they gave her that was different to help her adjust what she was doing so that she could succeed the next time, so she could do something different because she failed before, supposedly, we didn't see it, was just will it to be and it'll happen. So Egwene is like, yay, I did it! And then suddenly she gets whipped off to Lanfear's dream or Teleron, whatever. Anyway, she's on the wheel, except instead of being out in the middle of the desert like Rand was, she's by the ocean. Doesn't matter. Lanfear's suddenly there. And she's like, so tell me, woman to woman, did you like what you saw last night, or did you prefer Rand when he was just an innocent little shepherd boy? I mean, Egwene was banging Rand too. Long before Lanfear, so does Lanfear not know that? Anyway, Egwene is like, Rand doesn't know who you are, and Lanfear's like, oh yes, he does, he knows everything. And then Egwene's like, if he knew that you laid your hands on me or whatever, and then suddenly Lanfear is strangling her, and she's like, Rand knows everything, blah, 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 whatever. And then suddenly you hear the brass pin drop, because remember, they stick a pin in the candle, and then when it drops, that'll wake you up out of the dream. So Egwene wakes up, and the two wise ones are you okay? Like, she pushed us out, we couldn't stop her, or whatever. Egwene's like, yeah, and they're like, listen, Egwene, whatever you believe in the dream, that's what is. If you believe that you're more powerful than her, then you are more powerful than her, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Then Egwene is like, let's try again. And so she's like ready to go in. And the two wise women look at each other like they've exchanged this identical look like 5 times in the show. Like the actresses must be tired. Like, how many times are we going to do this? Like, Then we get to this conversation. So Rand is walking through the Cold Rock's Hold Town, whatever, and comes across Moraine sitting by a fire again. And
You haven't spoken to me since, Radiant.
I've been listening.
Like, they have to inform us that she's been avoiding talking to him because we haven't seen the two of them in the same room having conversations with people, really, except for that one lunch dinner thing that they all had together. And it wasn't like a moment where we saw that the two of them had a chance to talk, but she like avoided it. Like, so they have to inform the audience, you haven't talked to me since Ruidian.
What did you see in the rings, Moraine? Do I go mad?
Sometimes.
Do I kill Egwene?
Sometimes.
Do I kill you?
Sometimes.
Thanks for that. I'll log that away.
I thought we were supposed to come out knowing more, not less.
I do know more.
This is like so frustrating. I would never talk to Moraine again if this is how she spoke to me. And she seems to do this a lot. She was like this before Ruidian for sure. Oh, and I'm referring to show Moraine, not necessarily book Moraine. At this point in the books, Moraine was a totally different person than what she is in the show. I mean, she's always been a different person than she was in the show, but I mean, after the rings, she was very different. Rand comments that, I thought we were supposed to come out of our way down knowing more, not less. And she's like, I do know more, I know more. And he's like, yeah, I do too. I know what that thing is you're holding, the little moon sphere, the Sakarnan. And then she goes into this whole, like, how do you handle so much of the one power? Like, how do you do it? Like, when I do, I just feel like I'm going to be totally overwhelmed, whatever. And his response is this.
Don't submit.
Saidin and Saido are not the same, Rand. The male
It's the one power. If the IU and the Forsaken have taught me anything, is that the Aes Sedai don't know everything about it. See, if I stopped fighting it, even for a second, I'd be gone. It's just always there. Even now. It's calling me, pulling at me. Sometimes I can't stop myself from reaching out for it. Don't submit.
Why didn't anybody come out of their house like, dude, did you feel that earthquake? But apart from that, this is just so off. Like, what is the point of him telling her don't submit if we know this will never work for Moraine? Like, what is the point of this conversation? This makes no sense. At no point during Moraine's life, because spoiler, she dies, or at least she's off the board and in some other dimension for now, she has not ever, like, done anything with that piece of information in her story. So, what is the point? I have a feeling that the whole point of it was to show that Rand has to fight it all the time. That basically, because we haven't really explored Rand and what's going on in his mind and how he feels all the time. Because in the books, you're in his mind a lot. And there's this constant reminder of, like, the madness is always there in the back of his head. You know, Lews Therin is always talking to him. He can hear Lews Therin's voice in his head. And he's always talking to him. And then also just that constant feeling of the one power being there. I have a feeling that they had this scene because they needed the audience to know that that is how he feels. It's just that this was not the appropriate conversation here. It's completely worthless information to Moraine. So whatever. I don't care. I don't care. Then we're with Rand in his room by himself. Remember, Egwene has moved out, but Egwene shows up.
Egwene?
She's a Forsaken.
I should have told you.
This is the first time they're talking about this. Like, she waited an entire day before she went and told the person who she thinks is being tricked by this Forsaken. Like, oh, by the way, I let you go the last 24 hours knowing full well that you are banging a Forsaken. Like, the first thing she should have done after that first dream was run straight to him and like, oh my gosh, Rand, like, what kind of friend are you? What kind of girlfriend are you? What? And Rand doesn't act surprised. That was even weirder. It's as if Rand already knew that she knew. And it's like, how did he know that she knows? He didn't see her in the dream when he was, getting blown. He didn't turn around and like, oh, hey, Egwene. The only person who knew that she was in that dream was Lanfear. So where's his surprise? Anyway, he apologizes, like, I'm sorry, I should have told you. And she's like, told me what? That you lied to me? That you betrayed my trust? Or that you're sleeping with the Forsaken? Oh, I do not care about this tiff between the two of them at all, because the two of them getting together just felt like plot. Like, oh, they weren't a great couple, and then they break up and she wants to keep being with him, but he's like, okay, I guess that's what you want. And then they aren't together anymore, and then he comes to rescue her, and she's like, why are you here? And he's like, oh, I guess I didn't need to rescue you, and I guess they're together after that. And then they show up here in the Aiel Waste, and she's like, I know you just found out that you're the Messiah, and you're like, you know, you've just discovered this entire history of your people and whatnot, but I'm gonna go hang out with these ladies and learn how to do, you know, the dream thing, but you'll be fine. And he was in a relationship. Okay, I just do not care. I do not care about any of this. This feels like such a manufactured relationship fight. It's so freaking hard to even care what is going on. Like, this feels like the longest scene ever. Yeah, and he goes, oh, there's so much that you don't understand, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. She's like, dude, we came here to the Aiel Waste to get away from the Forsaken, and every single night you're with her. Like, I came here for you. And then I'm like, I'm so glad that at least in the show, this is so, they have to break up in the show because they're not together in the books. Like, it's like implied in the very beginning of book 1 that we might have been a thing. It was kind of, you know, we were supposed to be a thing, but then this big adventure happened to us and we just drifted apart. And she's actually into someone else. So they have to break them up in the show because it just doesn't make sense for them to be together. And it's like, this whole relationship was here strictly for the purpose of creating drama for some reason. It's so boring.
I came here for you.
You met the wise ones, and you haven't given me a second thought. That's what you do, and that's what you've always done.
At least he's standing up for himself in this case, but it's like, oh. It's just so hard to like care about this. I don't even care to comment on it. Who cares if Rand is cheating on Egwene? Who cares if Egwene has always prioritized everything other than Rand? Like, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. I was never invested in this relationship, so this entire argument here just is a waste of time to me. Did anybody ever go like, oh, I just wish the two of them would get together. They'd be so good together. Do you remember when they were together? It was so awesome. You mean that one scene with the raspberry or the strawberry or whatever, and then they bang, like that was it? That was them being together? That's not a relationship. That's banging. He could have done the same thing with any prostitute. I can only say this. If you have a romance in your story and it's like a secondary kind of thing, like the plot is more important, which I prefer those kind of stories anyway, you still have to have a good romance. It can't be a crappy one. This is such a crappy romance. All you need to do is go watch some romance movies or shows and look at how the characters are put through trials and tests that create closeness in their relationship in some way. Just look at that. There are only so many maps that you can follow with a romance to like make a decent one. All you have to do is some of that stuff. But one thing you can't do is have 100% of the time, the only time you've ever seen them together, it was miserable. And then you're like, oh no, now they're gonna break up. It's like, good. I don't think they ever yearned for each other or wanted to be around each other ever, except when they were banging. That's not romance, that's lust. And if I need to explain that the two are different, love and lust are separate, there's something wrong with you. Oh my gosh. And then Egwene, like, do you love her? Oh my gosh, it's happened then. The madness, like, I'm so glad that Rand just doesn't stand there and take it though. I was like, actually, the one thing that was good about this scene is that I was like, at least Rand is standing up for himself here.
Do you love her? It's already happened then. The madness.
Denial. If that's easier for you to swallow, then believe that.
But I definitely would have reworded how he says this one thing. It's a great concept, like what he's kind of doing here, but it's not, the wording kind of takes away from it. So he says,
we both know the truth, Egwene. You don't want me. Even back in the Two Rivers, there was always something that you wanted more. And even now, I am the Dragon Reborn. I'm not enough. I'll always respect that about you.
It's not that you're the Dragon Reborn and that's not enough for her. It's that you could not do anything that would make her fall in love with you. And this is a different thing. It's basically she can't make herself be in love with somebody no matter how glorious they are. He is literally the greatest human being on the planet. He is the Messiah. He is like God tier. Nobody's higher than him. And he's like, that wouldn't be enough to make you love me. But it's not that I haven't done enough. It's that I have all of this. I am all of this. But that isn't going to make you love me. because love is dependent on something entirely different. And it's just not communicated quite right with the word choices that are used here. I think if I was going to change it, I would have added a few different lines, things to say that, to clarify that it's not that God isn't enough for you or God tier me is not enough for you. It's basically that you won't love somebody just because they're God tier like this. But the way it's worded, it makes her look so bad. It makes Egwene look like you want somebody greater than me, and there is nobody greater than him. So if they had just fixed it to clarify that it was that was intended with this little speech that he's giving, then his little line, "I'll always respect that about you," will make way more sense, because of course you would respect somebody who isn't gonna be a gold digger or a power, I don't know what you call it, power digger? Somebody who's only with you because you're a powerful person. Which is actually the opposite of Lanfear. Lanfear is only with Rand because of his power in the book, or she only wants to be with him because of the power. In the show, it seems like they're kind of muddling that a little bit. They're trying to imply that she actually does love him. So Egwene's all crying and Rand is comforting her for some reason. And then all of a sudden she goes,
"Did you know what she was doing to me this whole time?"
What are you talking about?
Don't lie to me, Rand. Don't lie to me.
Egwene, I don't know what you're talking about.
My dreams where the Sultan tortured me.
It was your Lanfear. It's been her this whole time.
I didn't know.
At least he's not denying that it could be, like, he's not in denial about what's true. He just straight up, "I didn't know." Whereas she was like, you love Lanfear? You must be insane. Like, of course you must have known that she was doing it. And like, of course you must have known, like, there's only one person looking good in this situation. Even though Rand is the one who technically cheated on her, it seems like he's got his head on straight, even though he's supposed to be going mad, and she doesn't. So anyway, this little moment doesn't last long because suddenly Rand and Egwene and everybody, they're attacked. Remember, this is that thing that Lanfear told Moraine was gonna happen. It's Samael and the Bad Aiel, who I've forgotten what you call them. They have a specific name. Anyway, Egwene starts channeling to defend against all of these other Bad Aiel guys. Shido, that's it. And then Samael starts fighting, and he's got like this sledgehammer made out of the one power, I don't know, and he's about to go for Rand, but suddenly he gets air speared through the, like this, and it's Avienda, and she's got air fire spears. And then Samael does something that I don't think this is technically possible with the one power, which if you've got the magic system in your book and you've set rules for it, you gotta stick to those rules or you completely lose your audience or any believability. People just go, "Oh, well, magic can do anything, so nobody believes anything that it does. It's never cool because it can do anything." He grabs the spear. Like, I don't think that men can handle women's channeling. What? Yeah, what?
Get out! Get out!
I do wish there was more, this didn't feel all that grand to me. It should be the most impressive channeling that we've seen up until now, and it's just not. It just seems like it was the easiest accomplished, if that makes sense. It's not the greatest, but it's just easy. Like, if Samael and everybody had been blasted by a single lightning bolt, that would have been another thing. But anyway, yeah, Samael's not attacking anymore. He looks dead, but he's not. Anyway, everybody's coming up out of the smoke, and Avienda is like, "Oh, Sarah, that's the little girl. She was upstairs." Like, Rand forgot that there were people upstairs, and he just blew up the building. Anyway, Rand moves a bunch of boulders out of the way and finds her. Like, was she sleeping up there by herself? Whatever. And he's holding her, and Avienda, all she's got to say is, life is but a dream from which we all must wake. The actor who plays Rand is giving a nice performance here. Like, this is his big emotional moment in the entire series. He's distraught, holding her dead body, going, come on, breathe, breathe, and she's not breathing, and then he starts channeling into her. Seems very obvious he's trying to get her to come back to life. And as he's doing this, Egwene is like, Rand, she's dead, death can't be healed, and he's like, I can do anything. This line would have been better if we saw him doing incredible things before this with the one power and starting to believe I can do anything. Like, this was actually a battle in the book that he's having in his head where he sometimes feels like he can do anything and like, I have this incredible power and I actually feel like I can do anything, but he also has to kind of temper that so that he doesn't lose his mind. But here it doesn't make any sense. And he goes, what does the prophecy say? I bring destruction, and then it like dawns on him like, but also creation. And then he starts channeling into her again, going, Alcera, now breathe, like come back to life, basically. And you can hear like bones cracking and the body is like twitching and stuff. And as she's like, he's trying to get her to come back to life. Moraine and Lan show up, and Moraine goes, Rand, you can't do this. You have to stop, whatever. She puts her hand on his shoulder and he stops, and they have like a moment. Now, the thing is, something like this does happen in the book, but Rand isn't the one who killed the little girl, and that was a big issue. I remember when this episode came out, pretty much everybody who were book fans were like, Rand isn't the one who kills the little girl. He has this feeling of helplessness where he goes, I have all this power, but I don't know how to control it, and I don't know how to use it effectively. The first time we saw it was in book, I think it was 3, when he's at this camp with a bunch of guys who basically are like following him, like, we are your army now, and they get attacked. And he was trying desperately to help them, but all he could do was accidentally set a tree on fire. Like, he was unable to do anything, even though he has access to all this power, he couldn't control it effectively to be of use to anybody. And this is something that carried on with him for ages. And then we saw it sort of culminate into him also realizing he couldn't stop an attack that happened in the Stone of Tyr, and this little girl ended up getting killed. It was a little girl. And he didn't have, as far as I know, like a relationship with this little girl. This is actually a good thing that the show did, like trying to build up a relationship between the two of them. It's unfortunate that they did it in the worst way possible, but anyway, because then it makes the death mean something to the audience as well, instead of Rand is just this very compassionate person who, realizing that he could have saved her and then failed, that would be really impactful to him. But see, since we've spent so little time with Rand, we don't know that about him. We don't know that he's the kind of person who feels like if he could have done something, but didn't because he didn't know how to, like he has the ability, but not the knowledge and how to do it, that he would feel just as guilty as if he was causing that person's death. Like the fact that he didn't stop death from reaching that person affects him the same way as if he might as well have just killed him. But see, so the show, in order to make that work, decided we'll just have him kill him. But it doesn't mean the same thing. Of course you should feel terrible if you didn't kill somebody. But see, the book highlighted that Rand is a very compassionate person. He is somebody who has this deep compassion for people and this feeling of responsibility that I have this power, I'm supposed to use it to help folks. And the stuff that he is fighting is the I'm a god and can do anything and everybody should just do what I say kind of impulse. But this is what they got. I mean, the actor did a really fine job here. I mean, all he did was stand there or sit there with the body, and it's all in the face, it's all in the tears and all of this. And to convey a big emotion like that, just not moving at all, I imagine is very, very difficult. The little amount of acting that I have done, that sort of thing, it's much easier to do when you have some time. He had to do it in a very short space of time too. So well done on the actor. I do hope that all of these actors find better jobs after this. I mean, better roles in better shows. But that's it. That's all we got for this episode. Thank goodness it's over. I tried to rush through it without, skipping too much, even though I was really tempted. I took so many breaks. I don't think people realize I get out of this chair maybe 6 or 7 times just to give my brain a rest from all of this. I memory hold this episode so hard. I did not remember anything that happened in it. It was like watching it for the first time again. Ugh. But anyway, I'm done with this. I'm getting out of here. So please like, subscribe, and comment, even if it's just with an emoji, or if you're feeling generous and you have the means, check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, or hit the money heart thanks button down below. That's it. Be good to yourself.